You are watching the KJ Picks and Predictions, and today, with finally, after a short break, a little bit of a break at least, my mock draft 1.0. Now, let's just get right into this without further ado. This mock draft is going to be first round, pick 1 to pick 32. And starting off, pick 1, the Cleveland Browns. This is a shocker to everyone. Myles Garrett, of course. I recently saw an interview with him, and I'm really starting to like this guy more and more. I've seen what I had to see of tape of him, enough to convince me that he's the clear-cut number one, and you can see how smart he is in that video. He was a fan of poetry before he came to football. His hobbies when he was 9 years old were basketball and poetry. So this guy had, I can't even pronounce the job he wanted to have if football hadn't gone well. Just to be clear, if football hadn't gone well for this, you could say, model bodybuilder, number one pick, future Hall of Fame possibility, Myles Garrett, he would be having a decent life. Nonetheless, this just is the best case scenario. Myles Garrett at number one. And you are sure he will punish the Browns if they will not take him. Because if they won't take him, the 49ers, they will take him. And if they don't take him, the Bears, the Jags, anyone will take him. There's not a team that would not be willing to take Myles Garrett at number one overall. There's not a team that wouldn't take him. So Cleveland Browns, definitely Myles Garrett. I would give this an A+, of course. And any other pick would be probably, no matter who it is, not better than a B, because even if they take Solomon Thomas, who's a great player, I'd still give it a B just because you could have had Myles Garrett, who is an absolute A+. Right, moving on to number 2, and the 49ers, and they will take Solomon Thomas. I had Mitch Trubisky here for a while, but I thought that the smart decision is taking Solomon Thomas, and I think Solomon Thomas really has the potential to be an absolute star defensive end, and Mitch Trubisky also has the potential to be, of any of the quarterbacks besides maybe Pat Mahomes, he has the potential to be the best, but I just don't see it happening, and I think if the 49ers are smart enough to also see the potential in Solomon Thomas, then they know they're not going to win a Super Bowl this year, and it's not a draft where you have Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, so just wait up till next year. Maybe there'll be a decent quarterback in that year's draft class, and I'm sure your scouts are looking ahead to that too. So you're not going to win the Super Bowl this year, so why even get a quarterback in there if you're not rushing it? That's basically what I'm saying. Just wait till the good quarterback falls in your hand, and then build around him to actually get to that Super Bowl era where every team wants to be, but the 49ers, unfortunately, are probably, of all the teams, besides maybe Jets and Rams, the much furthest away from that. Now, at number 3, the Bears, this is also not too much of a shocker, they take Jamal Adams. Oh yes, Solomon Thomas I would also probably give an A. I don't see another better prospect fitting with need. I would give this an A+, but defensive end isn't exactly need, especially drafting defensive end 3 years in a row with Eric Armstead and DeForest Buckner and even Aaron Lynch. You have him there as an outside linebacker, so not the biggest need, but definitely to me the best player available, except maybe Leonard Fournette, but they will not take him because they have Carlos Hyde, who's actually one of the bright spots in this roster with, I must say, not too many bright spots. Now at 3, as I said, Chicago Bears, who what to me are a very good team, who are very lucky to be picking this high, and they won't be picking this high next year. I'm very, very sure of that. They will probably, to me, take Jamal Adams. So Jamal Adams, great safety. He really has the potential to be one of the greats as far as safety is concerned. So I think Jamal Adams is really the safe pick here out of LSU. Great player to me. Fitting with need as well, as the Bears have this guy named Houston Carson and Dion Bush, I believe. Rookies who are like, meh. But nor free safe, not free safety or strong safety is really a position where you have a player that is anywhere near the caliber player of Jamal Adams, or potential even of Jamal Adams. If Jamal Adams is on the board, which he is to probably 75–80%, because I don't think the 49ers will take Jamal Adams over Solomon Thomas. Probably not even over Mitch Trubisky or heck DeShone Kizer. I will probably guess Jamal Adams is on the board, and I'm sure the Bears will take him as well. Now at 4, Jacksonville Jaguars, and this is a pick where a lot of people say draft Leonard Fournette, and I agree. Leonard Fournette is just ass whooping. He is freaking amazing, like plowing through people, running through people. He is the best running back in this draft, and you might say someone else, but I can't really do anything but laugh at you if you do, because what has Leonard Fournette done to prove that he's not the best? He did everything to his extent right, and yeah, he'll lose a couple pounds, and then he'll start rushing for the freaking Jacksonville Jaguars, I hope, or I think, because this is how I mocked it. So Leonard Fournette is really that piece you need to take some pressure off Blake Bortles, and if he has a bad year, then cut him, or trade him, or get the fuck rid of him. But if he doesn't, then if he's back to that form of last year or the year before, I would consider, then you can maybe go forward as Blake Bortles as your quarterback, carrying a team that is slowly but surely forming into one of the greats in the league, I must say. Now just figure that problem out at quarterback and running back. Those skill positions, those two, might not be the greatest, but you can fill both of them here with drafting Leonard Fournette. That's one of them filled, taking the pressure off Blake Bortles, and maybe giving Blake Bortles more easy opportunity to get this team going, because that's what you expect from a big quarterback like Blake. Now at 5, we have the Tennessee Titans, and they draft, to me, clear cut, Marshall Lattimore, corner out of Ohio State. I think this is the Titans are already absolutely sure of this. The other option I have is Jonathan Allen, but I would grade Jonathan Allen maybe A minus, and Marshawn Lattimore A, because Marshawn Lattimore to me is the bigger need, the greater need. On my big board, I'd probably have Marshawn Lattimore at about 10 and Jonathan Allen at about 6 or 7. So technically, Jonathan Allen would be, to me, better as far as if I would give him a prospect grade. He might be 1 or 2 points higher out of 100. So Marshawn Lattimore, to me, is still the pick to make here, and I think the Titans don't have to worry about Marshawn Lattimore not being on the board. I could see the 49ers or the Bears or Jaguars taking Jonathan Allen. I can't really see any of them taking Marshawn Lattimore, except maybe the Bears, if they have given up on Kendall Fuller, which I'm not sure. And as I said, if they take Jamal Adams, that's probably an A. Same goes for the Jaguars. I forgot to give them a grade there. Leonard Fournette, absolutely A. I don't see another pick to make. And I would give the Titans also an A if they drafted Marshawn Lattimore here, which is what I'm predicting. So Marshawn Lattimore goes to Tennessee, and I think Tennessee and Marshawn Lattimore both already kind of know this is the way things are going to go. Now, at number 6, the Jets take Jonathan Allen. To me, this is a great fit. So, people say the Jets D-line is very good with Muhammad Wilkerson and, who's the other guy? Muhammad Wilkerson and, you know who I mean. There's 2 great guys on that defensive line, and that was true a few years ago, but I think one or maybe even both of them are just starting to fall off that cliff a little bit, and pairing that with Leonard Williams, that D-line is going to be absolutely scary, and I just don't think the Jets right now, they're so bad, they should just get good players, and he is definitely the best player on the board. You could take Malik Hooker, but you don't want a guy with injury concerns right now, really, and you just want the best player on the board, which to me is Jonathan Allen. So I'd give this probably an A minus, because I said not the greatest need, but the probably best player, Jonathan Allen, out of Alabama to New York right here. At number 7, the San Diego Chargers. I think Malik Hooker and the Los Angeles Chargers, I'm so sorry, have already come to terms with one another, and I think this is really clear cut. So another Ohio State secondary player alongside Marshall Lattimore in this draft. He goes to San Diego, to Los Angeles. I'm sorry, I'm just never gonna get that inside my skull. So Malik Hooker to San Diego. I give this definitely an A+. I don't see any problem here. I don't see anybody else really available that the Chargers could draft here. I just don't see it. Malik Hooker to me is clear cut. Defensive line, they could take another D-line though in Taco Charlton or something, or in Derek Barnett, or maybe even a linebacker. Reuben Foster, I just don't see another pick. They might take a receiver even in Corey Davis. I think any of these other names I've just named would be a mistake for the Los Angeles Chargers to draft at least. So I give them Malik Hooker at 7. At 8, I have the Carolina Panthers selecting Dalvin Cook, the second running back here, and he's just also absolutely amazing. He's probably around 10th on my big board, and as far as running backs go, well, he's more like 15 maybe on the big board, I'd say. And as far as running backs go, Dalvin Cook is clear-cut number 2. To me, clear-cut. I think Joe Mixon might be number 2 or 3. Actually, how it would go would definitely Leonard Fournette, then Dalvin Cook, Joe Mixon, Christian McCaffrey, maybe Alvin Kamara, but I'm not sure about Alvin Kamara. I'm not too high on Alvin Kamara. I am very high on Joe Mixon, however, and Dalvin Cook, and even Christian McCaffrey. So, 8, Dalvin Cook to the Carolina Panthers. Right, at slot 9, we have the Bengals, also very popular to slot Derek Barnett to the Cincinnati Bengals, who I have them picking. Oh yes, I'd give this an A- for the Panthers, to Dalvin Cook, or maybe even an A, because I just think this is the greatest need. And, well, not the greatest need because they have Jonathan Stewart. I mean, the definitely best player, and I think Carolina fans will love a flashy pick in Dalvin Cook here. So, Derek Barnett to the Cincinnati Bengals. Let me just look at his profile real quick. Derek Barnett. He to me is a very, very, very good player. He has, out of the defensive linemen, you could say Hassan Reddick is the safer option, or even Malik McDowell or someone, or Caleb Brantley. I think Derek Barnett has the highest ceiling, maybe the most best potential out of all of them. I'd give this probably a B+ or an A-. Cincinnati Bengals, Derek Barnett. I think this is a very realistic place for Derek Barnett to go, and I think the Cincinnati Bengals would be happy with him. Now at 10, we have the Buffalo Bills selecting wide receiver out of Clemson, Mike Williams. Yes, I personally, if I would have to select a receiver, I would take Corey Davis out of Western Michigan, because I think, except maybe spectacular catching, he's on the same level as Mike Williams. And John Ross, to me, has a bit of injury concern and also size concern. But John Ross all three have Pro Bowl potential. I'd say Corey Davis, John Ross, and then Mike Williams. But I'm high on every one of them. So I think the player they would take here rather would be Mike Williams. So I would give this a B, because I think there's other needs on this football team. They could go maybe Reuben Foster or something. But they end up going Mike Williams, and so not the biggest need, but you can get us number 2 behind Sammy Watkins. So they take Mike Williams, who is probably looking towards being a number 1, however. So again, since he's to me not the best wide receiver available and the first taken, I give this a B, probably a B. All right, I'm gonna go to pick 11. The New Orleans Saints select linebacker out of, you all know who's coming, linebacker out of Alabama, Reuben Foster. Now, he's done some stupid stuff getting kicked out of the combine, and it's really affected, stupid stuff like that has affected his draft stock, because I've seen some mocks where he's been projected to go number 2 even to the San Francisco 49ers. I don't see it. I think if he falls to the Saints at 11, they'll be happy to take him. I think this is a perfect fit for him. Really, he's a bit of an undersized linebacker, but he's fast, and he's got the stuff to really excel this defense of New Orleans and bring them to the next level. You could say trade down and get a guy like Jabril Peppers who can just play everywhere on your defense, who I think would fit perfectly with New Orleans. I just think picking a guy like Jabril Peppers, who you're not even sure what he can do very well, to the Saints at 11 is a major reach. So I'm predicting Reuben Foster here. Now at number 12 we have the Cleveland Browns again. Yes, I'd give them probably a B plus A minus for Reuben Foster. At number 12, we have the Cleveland Browns again, and I have them picking Mitchell Trubisky. Now, everyone would be thinking, how has O.J. Howard not gone off the board yet? And he should definitely go to Cleveland. And I agree. I'd give this pick a B, maybe even a B minus. But I think, since I hear the Browns are even thinking about picking Trubisky at 1, which would be absolutely horrible decision to me, I think the Browns might just might have already fallen in love with him, and if they see no one's picking quarterback, which very well may happen in the first 11 picks, well, first 10 discluding themselves, and Mitchell Trubisky is there at 12, then I think they might take him. I think trading down might be the other option, and like saying, all right, let's trade down to 17 with the Redskins, then the Redskins can pick Mitchell Trubisky, and if he's still there at 17, if there's another quarterback they like, or if maybe even Mitchell Trubisky is still there at 17, then we'll take him. I'm not predicting that because I just think predicting trades is stupid because there's so many things you have to predict, right? You have to predict the trade, you have to predict the trade partner, and then you have to predict the player they're going to get, so I just don't do trades. Mitchell Trubisky at 12. Now at 13, this might be a bit of a surprise to some of you. I have number 37 on the prospect board of the NFL.com site, Zachary Cunningham. Yes, Zachary Cunningham out of Vanderbilt. He is not undersized, not underweight. He is just a perfect fit for a linebacker. Some might say a reach at slot 13 for the Cardinals, and I agree. I'd give this maybe a B, especially since they drafted a guy named Robert Nkemdiche last year, who might just turn out as bust, and I'm pretty sure, and Zachary Cunningham has a bit of a bust potential, and also since they're picking this high, 13, which is unusual for a team like the Cardinals, that they might want to take someone else very great on the board as of a guy with Hall of Fame potential in O.J. Howard, but they do not. They take Zachary Cunningham. Now at 14, the Eagles, they also do not take O.J. Howard. They take Taco Charlton. I'd give this maybe a B minus. Taco Charlton, to me, I'd give this a C, even if I didn't know Taco Charlton is such a very good player to me. I really like Taco Charlton, and I wouldn't be too hard on the Eagles if they take him here, and I think this is just perfect as far as value. I think this is, at 14, Taco Charlton should be perfect value in combination with need. I just give them a bad grade if O.J. Howard is still on the board, because I would say, alright, Eagles, take O.J. Howard, best player available. Now, 15, Indianapolis just traded away, what's his name? I was just about to say Dwayne Wade. No, I mean the huge Dwayne Allen, exactly. Dwayne Allen, they traded away to New England, which is a stupid trade because New England didn't need him, and they just gave up another pick, of which they have not enough anyways. Right, O.J. Howard goes to Indianapolis, best player available, just given an A plus maybe even. They have a needed tight end now, and they fill it with future probably Hall of Famer, because I love him so much, O.J. Howard. Now at pick 16, the Baltimore Ravens, let's speed this up a little bit, they take John Ross. So, play on there, speed it up with John Ross, is very good. I think this would probably be an A to me, or maybe an A minus, because I'm unsure if John Ross or Corey Davis is the better prospect, but they select to go with John Ross. I've heard the Ravens prefer John Ross over Corey Davis, but like both of them, I'm pretty sure that either John Ross or Corey Davis, or even both, will be on the board at this point. So I think they will both be there, and they will have to make the selection between the two, taking John Ross. Now at 17, I have the Redskins taking Malik McDowell, who has bust potential, so as Robert Nkemdiche, but he just plows through everyone with his amazing strength. If you can teach him a bit of hand technique, which I think is already pretty well, but he has just so much power and so much size that I think it would really be a waste to not teach him this. At 6'6" and 300 pounds nearly from Michigan State, he's just an absolute beast. I think the Redskins should be lucky to have him here at 17, but a bit of a bust potential is there, of course. Now, the Titans at 18, they were worried that if they win against, or MJ was worried if they win against the Texans, that they might not get their receiver. Now, fortunately, in this draft, they do get their receiver, and I think it's the best receiver on the board, to me. Well, on the board, obviously, now, because who are you else? Are you going to take Juju Smith-Schuster? No. The best receiver in the draft, period, to me, Corey Davis, who will be going to the Tennessee Titans at 18. To me, perfect pick here. I'd give this an A+. I think with this first round, Titans fans can really be happy. They fill their needs at corner with Marshall Lattimore. I wouldn't even be too bummed out as a Titans fan if they doubled in at corner with maybe Tease Tabor, Sidney Jones, or Gareon Conley probably, rather, in the second round. I'd be totally fine with that, and then they also add Corey Davis. Great to me. Now, 19, some may consider this a reach. The Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, select David Njoku. Now, Njoku is a very good tight end, and he might even go as high as pick 9 to the Bengals if O.J. Howard just didn't exist in this universe. But I think Njoku is very good. I just think his draft stock is falling because there are so many great tight ends in this draft. Now, let's speed this up even more. At number 20, we have the Broncos selecting Ryan Ramczyk. Offensive line. Out of, I don't even know right now. Let me look where Ryan Ramczyk is from. Yes, also Wisconsin. I think this is a very, very good pick the Broncos could make here. I think the best offensive lineman in the draft, you would say Forrest Lamp is very good, and Cam Robinson. I'm not too high on Garrett Bowles, but he's also very good. I think they should consider themselves happy with Ryan Ramczyk here. I'm going to make the next 12 picks in just a minute. This is pick 1 to 20 in my mock draft 1.0. Hope you enjoyed. See you soon.